Alright guys, the next morning, nice little frost in the air, probably 30 degrees out. Uh, so today I have to work, so just gonna get a little stuff done in the morning here. I got a piece of rebar right here, 10 foot, and what I'm gonna do is cut that into probably 3 sections with my angle grinder, and Um, those make good steaks. So up at the home site, they really go into the ground pretty deep, and I can pull a string line real tight along uh, between two rebars. So we'll get that done and get up to the home site and lay that out. And that way, I'm gonna put a string line down the middle of those forms that I made yesterday, just to make sure they're perfectly straight from stake to stake. The wooden stakes that are in the ground. You'll see when I get up there, but let's start with that. I got my angle grinder out, and that cutoff wheel, it's a thin piece of some type of abrasive that just cuts through metal pretty easily. There's a bunch of different wheels that you can get for an angle grinder to do a lot of different things with metal, but I use a lot of those to cut the rebar and stuff. It's pretty easy to cut through, so we'll get that done right now. Okay, got that cut in three. Makes quick work of cutting through the piece of rebar, and then there's my string line. I'll take that up and we'll make our line up there. All right guys, I got my string line and kind of laid it down the middle. Still see a little wobble right over there, but not too bad. Um, the string will slack a little, so it does come close, but there is definitely a rise in the middle here, just a little bit. Not too bad. Nothing I can't take my pickaxe and kind of work it and even it out and stuff. And then you see there's somewhat of a space here, so I'm gonna have to fill that in with some stone or something there before we pour concrete. But all in all, it's pretty straight. I took a measurement. It is still, the stakes are at 48 feet, so everything seems okay, like where I'm sitting right now. So I started turning this corner, and I'm gonna work on this step here, clearing probably right at the end of this break with that plywood there, and make that a step right there. So, and it's gonna go up to that one. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Good morning. About 10 o'clock. It's already, today's gonna be a really nice day, probably in the mid 60s. It's already, I don't even need this hat and sweatshirt. Just climbing up here warm me up. So today, what I'd like to do is get this wall to, I don't know if the camera picks this up, but I sprayed an orange line right here yesterday. And that's where I want that step up to begin and go to this stake here. So, and that's got to be 8 inches higher here than there. That way, when you get cinder blocks and you're laying your first row, it'll end there. And then the second row will just go right over it evenly and create that wall and stuff. And that way you don't have to dig up rocks and bedrock and stuff that we get into. So we're going to get to it. I think I'm going to finish this wall to this line. Then I'll start working on this. My goal today is to try to turn this corner and get off to, I have another step over here that'll step back down and then go to that far corner and stuff. If I can get this corner kind of figured out today, I'd be really happy. So between today and tomorrow, let's put it that way, and I work tomorrow afternoon, so let's try to get that. All right, guys, it's actually getting pretty warm in the sun. About noon right now. Just give you a progress. Uh, So I got it kind of dug out here, um, but wow, that sun's bright, man. I can hardly tell whether the camera's facing the right way or not. But um, yeah, so I just about got that cleaned out. I got to go down for a saw and saw that root out that's down there, and clear out that one more corner. Then I can start setting my boards, and they'll set right up to that line, uh, the orange line right here and stuff. So um, that's what I'm gonna do. Probably stop and grab lunch while I'm down there at the RV, and then I'll come up and continue this. But yeah, nice day, nice breeze, so everything's going good. Let's just keep plugging away little by little. All right, guys, so what I'm doing first is I'm starting to climb on my grounds. So got my level here using that, and what I was able to do is take the pickaxe and get that level, taking some dirt away from there. I'll have to rake this all out so it's kind of even. You don't want it built up with too much dirt. You want that concrete to be 8 inches at least. So, but now I'm making this channel, and my line is right about there. That orange line. That's where I'm going to go up 8 inches. And I'm actually, by the time I dig this out, I'll be close to it. All I got to do is get to the, basically you got to get to, this piece of board here is 8 inches. So the next one at my step will go sit on top of this. And that way you know a block will continue on that and make that step up. So that's what I'm doing right now, just picking away at it. Slow process, but that's why if I can get this corner set today and get the forms in, I'll be happy. So this will, I knew it was going to be the hard part. So over here, that was the easier part here. And by the way, that's level. I got a string on it and everything like I showed you yesterday. So yeah, let's just get back to it. Keep plugging away. All right, started the forms, putting these forms back in. I got everything level, right where I want it. And then we'll start working on this next step. But first I'm gonna put these forms, attach them, put my cross members on, and move on down the road. All right, got that done. I did film it, but it got messed up somehow and didn't come out anywhere. It was out of focus, so I had to film. But anyways, we're done. We're up to that first step. Now I'm going to start grading that and getting that form made around that corner. And remember, that's what I wanted to get to today. So hopefully got a couple more hours of daylight, and we'll try to get that corner now.
Yes, I'll come back to you, then I'll ask, what have we done?
I keep forgetting to tell everyone, if you're doing any type of digging, like this kind of, sculpting kind of a ditch and stuff, this pickaxe is so good. The pointy part is great for prying out a rock or something that's just, you don't even have to dig around it. As long as that gets under it, you can usually pry it. And then the dig side is so good for just cleaning out surfaces, getting the dirt all loose up there, so that then I just take my shovel and just shovel it off to the side and stuff. But use this a ton naturally in Wyoming, where we have just tons of rocks that we come up with. But even here, I'm coming up with some rocks and stuff, so it works good. Just wanted to FYI. All right, guys, Shannon's home for the weekend, so we went and got used her pickup. I had to get one more sheet of OSB for the forms, and then we got cinder blocks. So we're going to go with 12-inch wide cinder blocks instead of 8-inch, just for the first row right here, because there's going to be a lot of dirt pushed up against there, and one of my neighbors thought that would be better. He did it down at his house, and when you move earth against it, it's a lot of pressure, and a 12-inch block's much more beefier. So we went and got some 12-inch block. We got some cap blocks, which I'll show you later, but we're made it up here easily with the pickup now, up the road all the way to the house site, so that's good. Shannon says hi. So we're gonna unload this real quick and then get back to building these forms. Good afternoon, not morning, because I worked this morning at Lowe's, so now it is after lunch, and what I did is cut some more rebar just now to lay some more stakes. So I'm gonna head up to the home site now, and we're gonna put these stakes in the ground, put some string to them, and I'm gonna go all the way around this time so I can know exactly what I got, and we'll go do that. So we'll take our walk up there now. Shannon just left. We actually went out and grabbed some lunch, and then she just took off. So great day. Started out only about 23 degrees, but right now it's probably, gosh, it's got to be over 60 right now. So looking good. Not a cloud in the sky. So I got a hold of a concrete block guy that I've been trying to get a hold of, that's down the road, and you find out everything around here through neighbors. And there was a guy that lays concrete block, and everybody told me to get a hold of him. So finally knocked on his door a couple times, and today he was home. So found out, we lined up. He's actually going to only charge $2 a block to lay block, so that's a pretty good price, according to my neighbor Bill too. That if I can get it at that, that's doing real good. He'll supply the concrete and everything. So of course we got the block, so that's that was a good pull right there. That's going to help us a lot. So that gets me excited to get this project done even quicker, because I got other things I can be doing while Shannon's gone. And if you're new to our channel, we're building a house here in Tennessee, me and my girlfriend Shannon, and there's my block waiting for me right there. So yeah, so we're here in Tennessee, 10 acres, building our own house from the ground floor up. We're actually up in the woods here. Built this road that I'm climbing right now, and cleared it out ourselves and everything. So, and then we do have 10 acres in Wyoming that we've already framed a house, and it's dried in there. So Wyoming being the summer and Tennessee being the winter. So that is the plan. If we can pull it off, it'll be great. That's the million-dollar question. But you can see some gravel behind me. That's all got to be spread out still. So if I'm losing my breath, because I'm doing some climbing right now. And I got two things of rebar that weigh about 20 pounds in my other hand here. So anyways, gorgeous day. The more I walk up this road, man, it's cool that a year ago this was just thick woods. Couldn't even get through it and stuff. So it's really taking shape now. We got some concrete block that we brought up here, and look at that view. And the house site is right up at the top of that hill there. So this afternoon, what I'd like to do is just lay out the rest of these stakes of rebar, tie my line to them, and just get our house is going to be 48 by 20. Get that all laid out perfect. I do have it staked out already, but wooden stakes don't hold as good as rebar when you pound them into the ground and get a tight line tied to them. You get a much truer look at how the house is going to sit and that everything's straight, especially when I'm laying these forms out too. So, yeah, and we're up here. All right, let's get to it. Okay, guys, one thing that I am doing is I had my neighbor Bill up here helping me. He is the guru. He's built 2 of his houses and knows what he's doing. So always put everything by him. And what we decided is to move the our stakes in, and then of course down. He thought they were in 2 middle of the my forms down here, down at this far end down here. So he gave me a new measurement, which I'll show you here. And I've already moved it in place. So he prefers that you picture that going to be the corner of your block. You want that 4 inches off of the form and 4 inches off of this corner. And that'll be the corner of our house. So I did the same up here, moved that, and then made sure this is 20 feet still, which is it is. And so now what I'll do is move these actually what I did is then put my rebar that I cut there, and I got one there, and that'll be set for a string line, and that'll make sure this stays put, because what you want is, I'll move this string line also over to this. So what you're going to do is you'll have your string line going across from here and then from here, and where it crisscrosses should be exactly on that stake. Then you know you're square, and then you can take your stakes out of there. And when you pour concrete, naturally, you're not going to be able to keep your stakes in there. But then you'll have that reference point of those 2 strings crossing each other right on that, over that stake. And that way you'll know after the concrete dries that that's still going to be that's the back corner of where your block foundation is going to go. So that is the turning point right there. And then, so what that made is, since I moved those stakes, I had to move this stake in. Now this stake came in so far, which I just measured, it's 48 feet exactly still. So I'll move that string over to that stake, and then I already put my rebar in to tie a string that'll cross that. Then I can take that stake out when we pour concrete and know that that's going to stay right where I'll know my reference point is right there, because the 2 strings will be crossing each other. I know it sounds complicated and I'm not a good explainer, but I try. But what it means is I'm going to have to cut this wall back now and bring that in a little. As you can see, it is now pretty much on the edge of, it's way too far in. So this wall of the form will move into about here. This wall will come into, I got a pencil line, you can't really see it, but it's right about there, and I'll put that there. This will still remain 2 feet wide, going right to my stake over here. It's just, I got to bring it in a little. So that's what I'm going to work on now, is cutting those 2 pieces of wood and reframing this corner right here.
Yes, I'll come back to you.
All right, there you go. Fix that corner. It doesn't matter that that's sticking out. This is where the concrete's being poured, so just had to cut this inside corner to make that shorter and bring this in. So now I got my stake on the outside like Bill says. So your back corner of the house, 4 inches and 4 inches off your footings. So now I can go up this way and start these forms coming this way. And then as you see down here, I'm coming down this way. So this has a lot of ground. It's late in the afternoon because I had to work this morning. So I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to try to get some of this done right now. I just got to smooth this all out a little, make sure it's pretty level, and then build those forms. And that's what I'll do right now. Good morning, guys. Back at it again. Let it get above freezing, so it's probably 35 out here right now. And but looks like we're gonna have some sun and clouds today, so it's supposed to warm up to the mid 50s. But today I'd like to continue with uh, getting this leveled. Yesterday that just about wiped me out. Worked up here until almost dark, as you know, and I got to smooth this out. I'd like to get this corner cleaned out and start heading that way today. So hopefully that's my goal, is to make this turn and get this corner situated. Then I'll set up my string line from this end to this end, and we'll get an idea whether we're square and stuff. So that's where I'm going to start with right now. So let's get to it. All right, guys, a little change in plans. I'm actually going to do a step right here because I'm starting to dig this down so low that I'd be all day cleaning that corner out. So I'm going to match this one up with this one and stop there, and then continue up on this level. So as opposed to the one I made the other day over here, which is actually going to be 2 blocks. So it's tricky when you're not, the cement is not there, but that'll be a block on top of this here. Then there'll be concrete and 2 blocks, actually 2 blocks to make this even with this ledge. So over here, it's just going to be 1 block high. And again, I know it's complicated if you're not used to, if you haven't done footers before, but you'll see it all come out when we start pouring the concrete and get the forms all done and stuff. I'll go over it, but yeah, I think I'm just going to go with a step right here. So I'm going to finish cleaning this out, this little bit of, and then get my wood in right to here, and then we'll see how it looks. All right, I got that taken care of to that step. Now I'll clean this corner up after lunch here, start making my way this way to join up with down there, right there. So probably got about 40 feet to go once I make this turn, and hopefully get this in all leveled out today and start my way that way. That's what I'd like to end this afternoon. So let's see if we can do it. All right. All right, today's one of those days where you actually get further than you wanted to get. So, show you. Actually got all my string laid out. I don't know if the camera picks it up. Little yellow string line there. But except for right here, but this is pretty straight eyeballing it. I'm not too worried about that part right now. But just ended up putting string down at this end and then having it come all the way down here. So I did make this corner. I got my bulkhead in, so that'll create the step there. And then this makes the turn and starts coming back the other 48. And I'm within probably, maybe 15, 20 feet. So about 2 or 3 more forms on both sides right here. Just, you gotta meet those two with these two here. So, and there'll be a step right, you can see that coming off the ground right here, and the next board meeting it should go slide right under it, creating that step. So so it's 2 steps up here, 2 blocks, and to make it level with that, you got to, when you get all the way around, you got to get down to those 2 blocks. So you're up 2 blocks, down 1, and over, and then down that second one, and then you're back to level right here. So yeah, a little bit of thinking, but I kind of dig it that you can you got to keep planning all this stuff out in your head. You can't just start putting stuff together. The big thing is I want to make sure that this is square, so I'll probably do that maybe tomorrow. I got to cut that board into strips. That's the last board. We bought that on Sunday when we brought these blocks up here, Shannon and I. So I got to rip those into these forms here because I'm all out actually. And I got to cut myself some more blocks and hopefully piece this 2 together, and then we'll get square, and then we can start playing with level, making sure this is all nice and level all the way around, and stake it. Then you can put your rebar in, your gravel, and then your rebar, and then you're ready for concrete. So we're getting there. All right, guys, you may be able to hear this wind, but I'm just gonna wrap it up for today. I got all the forms in. This still has to be attached and obviously straightened down on this end, but that was the last section that I had to do. So we got all our forms. All the way around, 48 by 20. So that was a big step. And next will be some gravel added, leveling, putting stakes probably every 2 feet on both sides, and playing with the level just to make sure you hammer those stakes in and make this thing perfectly level, side to side this way and going this way. So that'll be the next big thing, and then adding some gravel, and then the 2 rows of rebar that'll go in there and really make it strong. Building up my bulkheads, I got to add a couple of pieces of wood to those, especially this one, so concrete can sit in there and make a step, form that step. So that won't take much, but yeah, it's coming together. So appreciate you watching. It is very windy up here today, so thank God I work in a little while, so I'm not working up here. Just brought some wood back up, some blocks, and covered everything up. We are going to get some weather for the next 24 hours, some rain moving in, so it's a good thing I work. So give me a thumbs up as always, and any comments, and hit that subscribe button. That helps too. Would like to see that subscriptions go up, and we'll see you on the next one.